that sometimes people need to fight it out.
Everything was kept in order until their lovely wedding too. Papoose, thanks to Remy's 6-year prison sentence. But suddenly, everyone was left in shock and despair as their love story appeared to be falling apart. They appear to have an unbreakable bond in spite of everything, but lately, things have started to go awry. For years, Papoose's legal issues and leaked tapes have shaken the hip-hop community, allowing fans to witness his rage and his inability to remain silent. Papoose appeared in a location where most unions would have ended if they had been famous or wealthy in 2008, while Remy was serving an 8-year prison sentence. He was more than simply a friend. He was her greatest ally, encouraging her and providing hope when she needed it. He showed that his love was more than just words by supporting her and making the long journey to see her every day. Let's look at how the pair, whom everyone wanted to see, got into this awful predicament. Partnership became a symbol of strength and genuine love, demonstrating that love endures even in the most difficult situations. When considering what life will be like after prison, most people picture getting engaged on a beach or at a fine restaurant, but even in the absence of a picturesque environment, Papa's proposal to Remy while he was incarcerated was a memorable moment that fans will never forget. When re-released Papoose's Beauty in 2014, just 2 years had passed after years of hardship and expectation for everyone who with their gorgeous 2016 wedding. The story finally seemed to be heading in the right path for those who had followed her and Papoose's journey. It was more than simply a wedding. It was a victory of their perseverance. And the fact that his love was proposed under such a disgraceful situation shows how sincere their relationship is. Remy's career took off after her release, and Papoose said he clearly wasn't concerned about her success. Instead, he enthusiastically embraced it, referring to her as queen and celebrating every triumph. As if it were, many began to deduce Remy and Papoose's relationship from their body language when they were seen together at an Eagles game, particularly when they talked about dinner dates and other private events. When the tipping point came, this only made things worse, and there were rumors of a video. At first, this suggested that genuine love is about helping each other out. But now, battle rapper Block Captain Who has connections to both Remy and Papoose, spouting accusations of betrayal. Everyone in attendance was shocked when Papoose's photo of Remy and the Block Captain at REM's 23 event, which was meant to be a celebration of battle rap, swiftly descended into total mayhem. Witnesses reported that Papoose attacked them without a word, while other guests claimed that he hit them. Soon after, there was physical contact, and when it was found that additional persons had been rendered unconscious, the situation that arose was even more startling than the rumors. Fans who had always believed Pepo was calm under duress had already felt the effects. He had clearly been beaten down by months of gossip and whispers of treachery, and no one had anticipated seeing this side of him. Fans were hooked to every update as social media exploded with first-person tales and video of the confrontation. And this particular instance was the last straw for them. While dealing with the consequences, Remy was trying to comfort Papoose, who was obviously distressed at the moment. The purpose of the Memo's Chrome 23 event, according to accounts, was to celebrate combat rap. But things swiftly got out of hand. Everyone was left wondering what would happen to them as the night that was meant to launch her Chrome 23 brand descended into a full-fledged controversy. Telling the best woman in the world that he had imprisoned you for years seems to have touched a chord of love and loyalty. Chaos. Some visitors claimed that Papoose attacked without hesitation after seeing that the Black Captain was having a private talk on stage. Despite security's hasty attempts to defuse the situation, fans who had always known Papoose to be quiet and collected had witnessed this side of him months before this one occurrence tipped him over the line because the blows were so clean. Timelines filled with video and eyewitness accounts, social media exploded. Originally intended to be a showcase for Remy's Chrome 23 brand, The evening had devolved into a full-fledged scandal, and everyone was discussing and dissecting every facet of it. Remy was clearly upset about this since everyone was interested in what would happen to the pair who were formerly regarded as the pinnacle of love and commitment. He attempted to soothe Papoose while managing the fallout in real time, but it was too late. Supporters eagerly anticipated every new development as the conflict was described. Despite the obvious toll that rumors and charges of treachery had taken, Remy was accused by fans of deserting Papoose, who had been there for her throughout her darkest hours, both during and after her incarceration. However, Remy's quiet just made things worse for other people. Some argued her silence spoke more than words, while others thought to the issue by confirming or denying anything. Her quiet, however, merely increased the excitement by leaving, spectators wondering and anticipating an unexpected event. Don't be duped by anyone. Hitman's bombshell revelation during the confrontation with Hallie made it plain that Papoose had known about the incident for 2 years before it was made public. The love story that once inspired so many people is still up for debate. While some support him and applaud his commitment, others think there may be more to the story. In addition to further dividing the fanbase, Hitman's admission that he knew this just served to intensify the pandemonium and raise further concerns. Unhappy that the rumors were going unchecked, the block captain took action to keep the situation from getting out of control. The announcement stunned fans and gave the scenario a whole new dimension of drama, even if his remarks just served to inflame people's anger. He quickly ended his connection with Ray by denying the reports and sharing his side of events on Twitter. The relationship was as hazy as it had been before, with powerful emotions and no definitive answers. His tweet made it apparent that he would not put up with attempts to damage his reputation, even though he did not specifically target anyone. Other tweets appeared to hint at behind-the-scenes activities, but no one replied. So the rest of the tweets remained silent and gave away information in a way that left everyone wondering what Remy was actually trying to say. However, fans couldn't stop talking about the one tweet that said, "When you're real, you are." Although he didn't discuss much of what happened at Chrome 23 or his connection with Remy, his mysterious tweets had followers guessing and conjecturing because they offered more information than most people were aware of. His life took a strange turn when some began to question why he hadn't come forward and corrected the record. Others praised him for avoiding the charges. People grew accustomed to he unexpectedly became the focus of one of the biggest hip-hop controversies. However, it's difficult to say whether he benefited from the increased attention. The images of Papoose confronting Remy and the ongoing accusations of infidelity persisted despite all of his self-defense tweets. And the majority of his fans had already formed opinions about what had happened after witnessing it music firsthand for nearly a decade, particularly in relation to Remy's incarceration. My friend and Papa showed dedication with their "after all the chaos." Fans are left to wonder if Remy and Papa would survive the altercation at Chrome 23 and the revelation of the infidelity claims. In the past, they have encountered difficulties that would have put an end to most coups. But this presents a whole new set of difficulties, particularly for Papoose, who has established himself as the epitome of loyalty rather than merely declaring his love for Remy. The film exposing Remy's relationship with Papoose was viewed by millions of people who left comments and speculated about what might be included. As soon as the video was released, fans were split. Some swiftly supported her, saying that the footage had been edited or removed from its context, while others condemned her behavior. The details of the footage were first unclear, but it quickly became apparent that the video was controversial and raised significant concerns about Remy. The public responded quickly and strongly to the scandal that was appending Papoose's meticulously planned life. Being a devoted and guarded husband had always been enjoyable for Papoose. The media enthusiasm was swiftly heightened by rumors that the video was just the beginning, and that another, possibly even more devastating, tape was set to be published for Papoose and celebrity news. Social media users started scrutinizing every frame of the video in an attempt to uncover hints about what had transpired. Within a few hours, everything was different. The once popular pair was suddenly made the target of mockery once their private lives were made public. Throughout the tumult, the tabloids, who had once extolled their love story, now questioned it and hated it. The flavor suggested that they were having an affair, according to several media sources that started covering their suspected infidelity. It couldn't have come at a worse time. The two had been moving forward in their personal and professional lives, and he had just completed a big assignment. When Papoose heard it, he could not let the controversy go unchecked, since he understood that this moment would determine not only his career but also his legacy as a man. In interviews, Papa seemed visibly upset, his anger barely contained as he discussed the matter. His public response was a succinct but impactful Instagram post that said, "The truth will come to light. I will not be silent in the face of lies and betrayal." Remy's answer was far less straightforward. She initially rejected the charges, saying the photographs were fake and the audio was altered. But as the days went by and the media kept questioning him, he grew more and more agitated. It appears that he has lost the protection he had always provided Remy. If she had betrayed his trust in such a startling and blatant way, he questioned how he could possibly stand by her. Her publicist persuaded her to keep quiet in the hopes that the scandal would finally come to an end. However, the damage had already been done. The public was becoming further divided by the moment, and the media had already misrepresented their story. The impact of the leaked recording was instantaneous. And in addition to the fans' reactions, acquaintances, co-workers, and even relatives of the CPs started to express their worries. After years of establishing her job and reputation, Remy and Papoose publicly discussed the issue, saying that he ought to reconsider his marriage since he deserved better than someone who would disparage him in this way. Some backed Remy, saying she was the victim of a horrible attack meant to destroy everything she had fought for, while intimate friends urged him to do something about the betrayed lady they had supported for so long. They even mentioned the possibility of divorce. As the public continued to demand answers, every interview and comment only made things worse, making Remy's private life a spectacle and a divisive topic in every home office and on social media platforms across the globe. To get through this trying time, Papoose and Remy kept quiet about their future as the weeks went by. They couldn't protect her from the terrible truth of the situation, so they turned to those who had always been there for her for comfort. They appeared to turn inward. Ree, who had always relished her position of authority, was obviously worried about the impact this scramble might have on her marriage, and how was also disturbed. She sensed that the next moves were being discussed behind closed doors for the first time in years. Is it possible that Remy and Papa will separate? Could they restore the trust that the leaf tape had damaged? Or did their romance end with this? Although fans hoped for a happy ending, the identity of the person who made the leap, was unknown as the investigation went on. However, it took Papoose some time to properly comprehend everything, and he had never really recovered from this public betrayal, so the reality remained ambiguous. New speculations regarding the tape's origins started to emerge during the crisis. Some attributed it to Remy's close friends and family, while others claimed it was leaked by an irate former co-worker. Papoose refused to allow the scandal to define him or let anyone tell him how things should go, since he was determined to deal with the problem head-on. The world had turned its back on Ree, and many of the people who had formerly admired her were now doubting the moral fiber that had underpinned her career. This was a pivotal moment in Ree's relationship. He was resolved to find a solution, whether it meant mending his marriage or ending his relationship with his wife, even though He could no longer pretend that nothing was wrong or deny that her actions had caused him a significant deal of anguish. Her weaknesses, more than ever. Was their marriage doomed to become just another victim of the notorious rumor mill? Or would she be able to move past this treachery and start again with Papoose? Everything that Fury and Papoose had laboriously built had been ruined by the leaker tape, which had also fueled their animosity toward one another. It seems like Remy and Ease got into a furious disagreement about the latest Asterisk episode. The drama went on from there, in case you missed it. As the world observed their private lives, it hoped that the scandal that had fundamentally altered their lives would somehow mend the scars. Affliction was the first problem with EP Asterisk, but it wasn't the only one. Tensions are increasing as a result of Room and Papoose's frequent discussions about their love for one another and their thoughts being expressed to anybody who would listen. After months of growth, everything happened at once. A contentious argument on Remy's loyalty culminated in each and every